You could be killing half of your yeast before they even touch your must, even if everything looks perfectly fine for your first 24 hours. To get a bulletproof fermentation, you need the professional GoFerm rehydration and tempering process used by Scott Labs and Lallemand. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to nail the 2-temperature method and the 1-timer rule that prevents the most common mistake in home fermentation. Success starts with the right setup. You need clean equipment, chlorine-free water, a reliable thermometer, a container with extra headspace to handle potential foaming and overflow. But here's why so many people fail even when they follow the instructions. They ignore the 2-temperature sequence. You have to start hot to dissolve the nutrients, but you must pitch cool to save the yeast cells. Step 1, building your GoFerm slurry. Use a ratio of 1 part dry yeast to 1.25 parts of GoFerm. For example, if you have 5 grams of yeast, you need exactly 6.25 grams of GoFerm. You'll mix that into water that weighs 20 times the weight of the GoFerm itself. For a standard home batch, that's roughly half a cup of water for about 6 grams of GoFerm. Focus on that 20-to-1 ratio rather than the cup size. Heat the water to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 43 degrees Celsius, and stir in the GoFerm. Don't panic if you see some clumping. That is completely normal for these products. Now here's the critical moment that determines if your yeast survives. Do not add the yeast yet. You must let that mixture cool down to 104 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius. If you sprinkle dry yeast into water that is still 110 degrees, you can damage the cells right out of the gate. Once you hit that 104 degree mark, sprinkle your dry yeast in while stirring gently. Think of it as breaking up clumps rather than whisking eggs. You just want everything evenly wet. Now, let it sit for 20 minutes before giving it one more gentle stir. If you see a lot of foam or almost no foam at all, don't read into it. Foaming is not a reliable indicator of yeast health at this stage. Now, we move on to the step most people rush, and it's the only way to prevent lethal cold shock. Your yeast slurry is currently warm, but your juice or must is likely much cooler. If you dump that warm slurry directly into the cool liquid, the temperature jump can stall your fermentation before it even starts. This is why we temper. Slowly add small amounts of your must or juice into the yeast slurry over about 5 minutes. Your goal is to move the yeast toward the must temperature in a controlled environment. Let that mixture rest for 15 to 20 minutes so that the yeast can adjust to the new chemistry. Now, check the temperature difference between the slurry and the must. You want that gap to be no more than 18 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius. If the gap is wider than that, you must repeat the tempering step. Keep adding that must gradually and waiting until you're within that safe 18-degree range. For example, if your must is 68 degrees and your slurry is 104 degrees, that 36-degree gap is way too large. You'll need to step it down in stages. Once the temperatures are close enough, it's time to inoculate. For most home fermenters, you can simply pour the slurry in and mix it well. If you're filling a large vessel that takes significant time to fill, add the slurry to the bottom as you start filling so that the yeast gets a head start. Now here's the payoff I promised, the timer rule that prevents silent failure. The moment your yeast hits the water, the clock is ticking. Rehydrated yeast cannot sit in plain liquid for too long without food or the live population will begin to drop rapidly. The rule is simple. Never let your yeast sit for more than 30 minutes without introducing must or juice. This is why you must move directly from hydration into tempering. Don't wander off and try to come back later. Control your 2 temperatures. Temper in stages until you're within that 18-degree window and never let the slurry stall out on the counter unfed. If this has made your process clearer, hit that like and subscribe. I post no fluff meat and beer videos that save you time, honey, and headaches. And if you want to level up fast, click my mead educational playlist right over here. Happy mead making.